Hi guys and welcome back to Sports Gamer HD and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Transfers, where I discuss who I believe each Premier League club should be looking to sign in the transfer window that's coming very quickly upon us in January, of course. Now these are only my opinion, these aren't who are they actually going to sign, these are who I think they should be signing. Now today of course we've got to look at Southampton, Stoke, Sunderland and Swansea. Now first things first, it's Southampton. Now, as I record this, I believe they're just outside the relegation zone. So things aren't going amazingly, but they could be going worse when you think about it. But I look at their squad and I think it's got enough talent to survive. I do think Southampton will survive. I just think they will. So the areas I think they need to strengthen are right wing, centre back. Not because the centre backs they've got currently aren't good enough, but because I think they need another option. And also, I think they just need another superstar, another Gaston Ramirez, another player just to add that little bit of that little spark. I think they need just a little bit of creativity, something to add, something extra, I guess. First player I believe would be a perfect fit for Southampton is Nathan Redmond. Now, again, this is very similar to the likes of Will Hughes. I believe that he needs to go to a club like Southampton, who has got a history of developing young players extremely well, and just go there, learn more skills, get more experience in the Premier League, playing for Southampton, who I believe will survive, as I said, play for them for a couple of seasons, and then move on to another bigger, so-called bigger club, because that's where ultimately I believe he's going to end up, because he's so good. I also personally think he should go abroad at some point, as should a lot of our young English players, because I think if they were to go abroad, they'll come back much better players as foreign players do. So I personally believe that's what they should be doing. But for the purpose of this, he should go to Southampton, I believe, and then in a few years' time, 2 or 3 years' time, then move on to a bigger club when he's got more experience of playing in the top flight, and more experience, more skills, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The next one's Michael Mancium. Now, you may be thinking why, but he's at Hamburg at the moment. He's doing exactly what I just said I think our English players should be doing. Now, I believe he's a very good player who just wasn't good enough at Chelsea. Now, I'm almost certain he played for Leicester at some point, because I remember watching him a lot. That says he didn't. I'm pretty certain he did. I'm pretty certain he had a loan deal with Leicester, because I remember seeing him. Maybe not. Who knows? He's a very good player, and I believe he would act as maybe not squad rotation, maybe not that, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think the Southampton defence is good, but it's not complete, I guess. And I believe Michael Mancium, who can play in various other positions, sort of, would act as a really good glue sort of player to that team, I believe. And now that superstar, which is Wellington Nem. Now, anybody who plays FIFA, Football Manager, doesn't matter what you play. I believe he even went to the Olympics with Brazil. He's already a Brazilian international. Everybody knows this guy is a superstar. Now, I believe he's even been linked with Southampton in the media, actually, in real life. So, I think he'll be an amazing fit. He's so young and he's just electrifying. He is electrifying on the pitch. So, he is the perfect player to come in and just add that extra creativity, that extra spark to the Southampton squad. Now, the next club, of course, is Stoke City. Now, I think what you've got to bear in mind when you look at their squads, for example. Okay, they're a bad example of what I was about to say. But they've got a history of signing from... Stoke particularly have got a history for signing on from very specific teams, which clearly suggests they've got very good links with those clubs, and those clubs are happy to trade with them. So that sort of plays, is a factor in who I suggest they should be signing. And positions are fullbacks, both sides, and also a wing option, because if you've got the likes of Peter Crouch and Ken Wyn-Jones up front, you need wingers to provide the good service for them to maximise their abilities and potential, I guess. First player is Lee Wallace to fill the left-back position. Currently plays for Rangers, of course, in the 3rd division in Scotland. Now, of course, Rangers are a massive club, so prizing him away from Rangers may be difficult, because there may be some sort of sentimental reasons he's there or stayed or something like that. I don't know, but that may be difficult. But I believe Stoke could potentially prize him away from Scottish football into the Premier League. Maybe, who knows? I think he'd be a good option for them to sign if that were possible. The next player is Carl Norton. Now, this is for three reasons. One, he's very good, and I've seen him play regularly. He was at Leicester on loan, so I watched him every week, well, every other week, play for Leicester. And this guy is incredible. I believe he's so talented, and not quite as good as Kyle Walker, but still a very good player anyway. And I believe good enough, more than good enough to play for Stoke. And also, second reason is due to the fact that he's not getting a huge amount of game time. I believe he's played at this point 5 game starts maybe for Tottenham this season, which isn't enough for him to maximise his potential. And thirdly, Stoke have got a history of signing players from Tottenham, and Tottenham are willing to trade with them. So that suggests that there is very good links there. So this deal, I think, should and could and will happen. Well, maybe not will happen, but should and could happen. The next player is Stuart Downing, who is, other than Andy Carroll, probably the biggest flop Liverpool have signed in a long time. Now, I think he needs a move to rejuvenate his career, reignite his career, I guess. I think he's been playing at left back in all sorts of various positions for Liverpool, and he's a winger. He's a winger, that's what he is. And I believe that Stoke need an extra left winger, because they've got a couple of right wingers, but they need a unique left winger, a very player who is a specific left winger and can provide good service for the striker. Now, he hasn't provided that quality service at Liverpool, but maybe that's due to the pressures of playing for Liverpool. Maybe that's due to players around him not providing him with the ball to give the service back to them, if that makes sense. For various reasons that could be for, but I believe a move to Stoke would be good. Now, this one could be loaned to buy, maybe Stoke. I don't know if Stoke could afford his wages, so maybe a loan to buy could be the best scenario for this one to happen. But I believe he would be a really good fit for Stoke to sign. And on to Sunderland. Now, Sunderland are a club I've only come up with 2 for. Now, this is for reasons. One of them is that I don't know what Martin O'Neill is going to do with the squad, because I find him very unpredictable in who he signs. He seems to come up with some really random players. Some players for positions that they don't even need to strengthen. He's got a history of doing. I just find him a really random transfer-wise manager. So it's very difficult to predict who they should be or could be signing. So I've come up with 2 players that I look at the squad and think, yeah, they need that position strengthening. First player is Maina Figueroa. Now, I believe they need a left winger. Left back. I believe they need an extra left back, because they're just not got adequate depth in that position. And I believe he would be a really good fit for Sunderland to have. So I believe Maina Figueroa is the first player I'd like Sunderland to go out and sign. Next player is Charles Nzogbia. Now, I know he's got history at Newcastle, so that may be a bump in the road for this deal to happen. But I can't remember if O'Neill signed him for Aston Villa, or if it was McLeish or Houllier, or whoever was the manager at that stage. I can't remember. For the life of me, I've been trying to think. So if it was O'Neill that signed him, clearly O'Neill likes him. But the next reason is, apparently, rumour has it, Charles Nzogbia is very frustrated with Lambert's management. Apparently he doesn't like Lambert's play. He feels that Lambert's playing him out of position, and that he's not playing the players he should be signing, i.e. Darren Bent. He should be playing him. And apparently Nzogbia has confronted him on this and is unhappy. Apparently that's what I've read online and in various media. That's what the scenario is at the moment. So a move away could likely happen, and I believe Sunderland do need an extra right winger, well, a utility winger, a player who can play on either side with a minimal disruption, or whatever the word should be for that. But I believe he would be a really good signing for them to make. And finally, on to Swansea. Now, Swansea were easy in one respect, because I've already said they should lose Ashley Williams and Ango Rangel, so they need a centre-back and a right-back to replace those 2 players. But then difficult at the same time, because Swansea have got sort of the Barcelona effect, sort of the Arsenal sort of style, I guess, is what I'm saying. They need, the players they sign should have the right qualities to fulfil that style of football and help chip into that. I don't even know what the word is for that. But to play that style of football, so they've got the right qualities. So that made it quite difficult to find the right players for them to sign. The first player is Ignacio Martinez, or Ignacio, I don't know how you say that. But he's a very, very good player. He's a centre-back, plays for Real Sociedad. I've seen him play on Sky, of course, they showed the La Liga. So I've seen him play a couple of times. This guy is eventually, ultimately, I believe, going to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, as all very talented Spanish players do. But what has a history of happening is that before they go to Real Madrid or Barcelona, for example, Gerard Piqué, go to the Premier League and learn their trade a bit more, get more experience playing abroad, as I said, English players should be doing. And I believe just a move to Swansea would tie in and help him learn the style of football, for example, that he may have to play at Barcelona if he were to go to Barcelona. He'll be able to learn that style of football. It's the style of football Spain as a national club, as a national team, play. So that all fits into place, and also Swansea have a history of buying Spanish, so it all works as far as I'm concerned. And the next player I believe that Swansea should be looking to sign is Gökhan Gönül, Turkish international right back, currently plays for Fenerbahce. Now, this guy is rumoured to be being tracked by likes of Tottenham, among other European clubs, so clearly he's got a lot about him. And I've seen him play for Turkey a couple of times, and he's very, very good. So I believe a move for him would be more than a replacement for Angel Rangel. I believe he's a better player than him. So this one would be quite good to pull off. It may be a bit costly, but if they do get good transfer fees for Ashley Williams and Angel Rangel, then that could happen. The final player is Kazengulu Alawa. Now, I believe Swansea need a left winger because I think they've got enough right wingers, but I think they need a designated left winger. Now, since he's left Newcastle and gone to Brighton, he's just been completely revitalised, everything just redone. He just really has kicked on as a player, and he's just been very, very good in the Championship. And Swansea sort of have a history of signing players from the Championship and the lower leagues and making them into very good players, like rough diamonds almost, and polishing them off, I guess. And I believe Kazengulu Alawa will be perfect for them to try and do a similar thing with. So that pretty much does it for this episode. Next episode will be Tottenham, West Brom, West Ham and Wigan. So leave me a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments what you think of my suggestions. Is there any extra players you think Sunderland should be signing if you're a Sunderland fan? Of course, if you're a fan of any of the clubs I've said so far, let me know what you think of these recommendations. And also, do you think that Charles Nzogbia, the deal could happen? And also, did O'Neill sign Nzogbia for Aston Villa? Because I just can't remember. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on all of the things I've just said. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this. Subscribe to see some more of these videos, because I've got now one more to go, and of course I'll be reviewing the January transfer window when it's all said and done. So leave a like, as I said, I keep saying that. I'm going to go now, so until then, I'll see you guys next time.